sir. Yo, was good. Welcome to the Canon side view. And damn, what a week it has been for this club, man. I've had this jersey, man. This jersey needs it needs something before Sunday, man. But yeah, gassed up, man. I don't even know where to start. I couldn't even stitch a video together because it's just be a lot of videos releasing. So by tomorrow I'll release no today I'll do a preview of Chelsea, then tomorrow I'll release a predicted 11. I just couldn't. It's like this week you can't just break it down and then release a preview, then starting 11, then review the game, then because the adrenaline, we've been winning. You mustn't forget that we've been winning. But yeah, I don't even know where to start. um we're going to bring the tactics board out at some point. Yes, no doubt that we're going to do that, obviously. But honestly, this is one of the best weeks as an Arsenal supporter. I decided to just go live and try to break everything down. And yeah, I don't know where to start. I'm not going to put the Tottenham game on the tactics board because there was nothing tactical about that game. I can't even lie to you people. There was nothing tactical that went on in that game. It was just a hammering. We could have scored six, we could have scored seven. Depends on how well you want to look at it, and it's crazy. It's actually crazy. And we're going to review the Bayern game, which it's just weird, man. I can't, the 5-1 beatings. Like I think back to that, and I'm like, we actually the first time we actually hammered them, and it could have been more as well. And that's crazy. I don't even know how I'm saying this as an Arsenal fan, but we give thanks to God. Um, um, I don't know where to start. Where do I start? I think I start from the Tottenham game, the North London derby. I think that's a good place to start. Um, it was just very, very. I don't know. It was interesting because going into the game, I was actually very, and I don't tend to be like this. I was actually very nervous, and I was like, thinking those type of things, thinking back at the game, you're like, why am I nervous, why am I this, why am I that? But then you realize it's still a derby. It's still emotions running high. you know all of a sudden you could have a ridiculous tackle, and all of a sudden you have a red card and the game shifts. But yes, that's the only issue. It's a derby, emotions, and you know that's how fun goes out of the window. I know we don't like to say it, but it's true. Because when you come into this type of games, so many emotions, somebody, plenty people saying, "Oh my God, it's not on derby." It can overwhelm you if you are not, a decent player. It can really overwhelm you as a player. And all of a sudden you don't know when you're getting a red card, when you're getting sent off, or when the manager is subbing you off for a bad performance. And it's crazy. It is crazy. It's very, very crazy. But yeah, that's just how those games are. But I didn't expect. I was very nervous going into the game, and I didn't expect that we will actually like batter them, but we did. Like I don't know, and who better than Izzy, man? Who else than Eberici is my whole? If I could show you, I'm using my phone as my camera. If I could show you, I put Arsenal players on a photo shuffle as my wallpaper for match weeks, so it automatically changes when it's the match week, and almost all of it is easy. And I don't know why, but it's just that's how it is. I just see random um wallpaper pictures on football Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one. But yeah, Tottenham came to this came to the Emirates Stadium set up to fail. Set up to fail, bad squad, bad mentality, set up to fail. You don't like to see it because you like a Northern derby to be competitive, you like it to be emotional, you like the entertainment, but at the same time you have to take your wins in it. You have to take your wins. If you don't take your wins, why what else are you going to do? I know we don't like to hear that as fans, but that's just the thing. No matter how you win, you're winning. You're playing good football. Accept it. Don't say your opponent was bad. You were just good. You know your opponent was bad, but if you were equally as bad as your opponent, you won't be getting anything out of it, would you? You take take me back to Manchester United, Tottenham, the Europa League final last year. Both of them were shit. I think that's the first European final that I've watched in my lifetime that was a 1-0. 1-0. Not even 1-0. Not even a competitive 1-0, then go to penalties. 1-0. So that's just it. Like, if you are equally as bad as your own, um, if you're equally as bad as your opponent, you won't be winning by those margins. Then you can even be winning by more, if you get what I mean. And that is just how football is. And we battered Spurs 4-1. And who else than Eberechi Eze to announce himself first player to score a hat-trick since Alan Sunderland in the North London Derby since Alan Sunderland in 1978. How do you etch your name in history in your first season at a football club as a boyhood fan? If you told me, I can't pan the camera, but if you told me and I look at this picture of myself on my wall right here, I don't know if I can remove it. A picture of myself on the wall. I can't remove it, but yeah, but I don't want to take it off. But if you told me that, I'll show you. If you told me that I could go pro, no. If you told me that, what would you have told me? If you told me that I could enter the Arsenal Academy, I think this you can see it like this. If you told me that this would be me and I could enter the Arsenal Academy and I could have a chance of playing and meeting the first team, I would have first called you crazy, but I'd have fancied my chances because I believe in myself. But if you tell me that I'm going to get released at 11 years old, I'll be sad. I'll be thinking of, do I want to give up? I'd have probably given up because I'm not Eberechi Eze. But you see Eberechi Eze, he didn't give up. Went to several places, got released from several places, went to QPR, went on loan to Wycombe Wanderers, came back, got signed by Crystal Palace, and since then, and he made this journey. He made it by himself. He made it, and he made it to the pinnacle of what he was trying to achieve. And in the first season back, he scores a hat-trick against the rivals, the main rivals. What else? If you could tell me, I could have followed that path too, I'll be looking at you, you're batshit crazy, bro. I'll be looking at, who is this nigga, bro? Who is this guy? You must be mad, because I won't believe you. Why do I don't? And I don't have cause to believe you. It's true, I don't. Honestly, I just think about it and this guy is a huge inspiration. And then I see that tweet of, one day, I swear, one day I'm going to make it and everybody's going to show this. And I just keep coming back to it, and that's why it's on my wallpaper a lot, because sometimes, especially me, I can't lie to you, and I think this is my first live that I'm doing, so, and it's going to be uploaded as a VOD too, but this is the first time in my life that I'm just winging something. I think even when I used to stream on Twitter, and I was like, I've given up on that twice now. I know it's not good to say, but it never even felt like I loved doing it. It felt like stress. But you see, I just realized that you can't just want to do things because you like it. It doesn't mean that you can't do it if you like it. But you see, I saw something, and I watch a lot of Arsenal fan content. I watch AFTV, I watch Turkish, I watch a lot of people, the Gunners. I watch them, and I'm like, these guys talk well, and I know I have the ability to talk like that, and I know the amount of passion and love I have for my club, and I know that it is better even as a young fan, because I've been in this hardship more than even the older fans, so I can actually speak more, and I'm like, this is what I love. If you ask me, in a day, if I come across an Arsenal post, I can talk to myself about what happened. I remember the Sunderland game. After the Sunderland game, I was so livid. I was actually livid. I was talking to myself. I was like, what could we have done? But then, at some point, I just came into my own consensus between myself that it's true. The subs, what did we really have? And I keep on saying that, but I always talk to myself about Arsenal, and I just love Arsenal. I think in my life, and I'm going through a very difficult phase in my life, and I just decided to, why not, man? This is the only thing in my life right now that I'm like, Yeah, I love it. Like I'm down to actually. I can watch Arsenal. The only thing I would say that I don't watch that I love watching against Formula One. Got into it recently, but still when I'm just watching Arsenal, when I'm like, oh, Arsenal is playing today, it gives me like a sweet release. Whether we're going to draw, whether we're going to lose, the expectation of, oh my god, I'm going to watch Arsenal play today. Even it even boils down to the women, because I watch the women a lot. I do the men are on international break. I do match reaction for women too. Sometimes I watch the youth matches. I watch the youth league against UEFA Youth League against Bayern. Max Dalman's goal, by the way, sweet as a nut. And that's the only thing I can tell. That's the only thing I can relate to. Arsenal, Arsenal. And I made this channel. I was like, I don't care if I get. And a friend of mine asked me, do I want promotion for my channel? And I'm like, I don't. The thing is that this is not a channel to gather views or to be begging people to subscribe. Yeah, I'll put like and subscribe if you like the content, all well and good. But this is a more personal thing to me. You can't be talking to yourself every time. It's kind of weird. It kind of makes you feel like a mad person. But I love doing it. I love talking about Arsenal. So why don't I share my views? Let me put my views out there. Anybody that comes across it, all well and good. You come across it. I like that you've come across it. Give it a like, give it a subscribe if you agree. Watch it. You know, if you don't, all well and good. You can get your content wherever you get it. But the fact that I'm getting to do this and getting to post it and get my feelings of knowing that if a fan really wants to comment on it, they can. Brilliant. But yeah, moving on to the main business of what the stream is about, and that is breaking down the Bayern and Spurs games. Let's with Spurs, I've broken it down as much as I could. It was the Eberici Eze show, and I look at individual performances and I'm like, everybody performed well. I know people like to go as Zubimendi, but even in that game, everything went through Zubimendi. I think Zubimendi is that type of player that you won't notice what he does until you get maybe like clips of what he does. I mean, his ball winning ability. He has won the most aerial duels of an Arsenal player this season. He's like five. I'm taller than him. He's like Messi height, bro. He's short and he's winning aerial duels against Dan Burn. What else do you need to prove that Zubimendi is one of the best DMs in the world? And I'm going to stand. I'm going to die on that rock. Honestly, I am. I don't even know where to go. David Raya, I know he got lobbed, but I don't think that's his fault. That's the adequate positioning for keepers these days. Jurien Timber, never seen him have a bad game, honestly. The last bad game I saw him have was probably his ACL. Saliba, man, that guy has vibes. I don't know if you've seen his celebration against Bayern. Now I was running like this when Madueke scored. It was class. Um, um, Nkapie played well. I don't know. I saw some stats and I was like, that's ridiculous. I saw some stats and I laughed that he didn't win any duels. So people are telling me, I folk mob is telling me that he didn't win it. And I said I watched this match. I saw him towering over Richarlison like 100 times. I'm pretty sure every single long ball that they played, it was cleared. Like between him and Saliba, they must have won at least 90% of their area and ground duels because they just didn't offer anything going forward. Calafiori is doing what Calafiori does. Zumendi, I spoke about him. Declan Rice, see that guy here. Give West Ham like another 205 million or something like that, because he's an absolute bargain, and you rarely see that for players of that type of price. I mean, you look at Isak and West this season is crazy, and to have the player like Declan Rice, I don't know. It just seems to. I was speaking with a friend, and I'm just like, this guy just seems to get fitter as the game goes on, which is just awkward. Like, bro, why are you this type of person? Like, and I just don't know. I can't explain. I can't explain it, and I love it. I love having that type of player, and I know about the guys. So we'll get to that. Eberechi is a 10 out of 10 performance. Hat-trick hero, could have had an assist. Brilliant. Saka opening up players. That's the huge minus to having no Gyökeres or no focal point striker. He keeps our own wingers pinned in, but Trossard managed to get a peel off and score a goal, which was a brilliant. Trossard is one of our players of the season. I think he has 10 goals and assists now, which is absolutely sublime. He got 2 goals and 1 assist. For me, he was my man of the match, but Eberechi scored the hat trick, so that was overlooked. But yeah, brilliant performance against Spurs. Mikel Merino as well. I know he plays well in midfield. I don't now know. When he plays as a striker, he plays in midfield. But when he plays in midfield, it's just different. I don't know why. And I don't think many Arsenal fans can explain, but he's just a very good player. I don't know who, and I think I saw on the Loose Cannons podcast with Turkish and the law, they kind of likened him to Jordan Shaqiri at Liverpool, and I was like, I remember him from his Southampton days. I think Southampton, like, Stoke City days before he moved to Liverpool, and it was just that kind of player. Just he could do the job, and I don't know. Mourinho is more confusing. He's a good finisher. I don't just know his positioning, but we forget about it. We digress. But brilliant performance against Spurs in disguise. And that was very good. Tottenham, are you Tottenham? Are you Tottenham? Are you Tottenham in disguise? But yeah, it was a beautiful week for us because City dropped points as well, like against Newcastle, and Liverpool was beaten comprehensively by Nottingham Forest. The only team that won was Chelsea at Burnley. So we opened the gap again to 6 points to Chelsea and 7 points to Manchester City, and then I think maybe like 12 points to Liverpool now, or 11. And then United lost, so Everton moved above Liverpool in the Premier League table. That was all for game week 12 of the Premier League, I guess. Game week 12 or game week 11, I can't remember. I think it's game week 11, but we digress. Now, the big one was coming. The real litmus acid test. Are Arsenal as big as they say they are against the team that has thumped them repeatedly, both at home and away, especially at home? 5-1 on 5-1 on 5-1s. 10-2 aggregate, not that of the Champions League 2016. Could Arsenal say, Bayern, unbeaten 18 games, Bayern, come, let us school you? And Arsenal did. Arsenal absolutely schooled Bayern, and they got hold of their emotions and they put it past Bayern. Where do I start? Where do I start in that game? Absolutely brilliant, simply lovely football. The first half, I think we see the importance of a set piece goal. We see the importance of having that skill set. And what is the importance of having that skill set, you may ask me? It opens up games. Against the run of play. Sometimes if your team is playing and you're playing well and you get a goal against the run of play, you think that why have they scored? It derails them. It derails the other team. Absolutely, it derails them. And that is the importance of having that type of weapon. It's like having a melee knife in Warzone. You can use it to stab, and then all of a sudden, like 10 people are shooting at you because you can't move or you already have lost HP. You get, so that's exactly what it is, a weapon. We don't have Gabriel, but Timber is one of the shortest men on the pitch, scoring a set piece. What does Bayern do? It lets Bayern open up, and we put more pressure on them. We didn't play into Bayern's hands. People said that first half and saw Arsenal losing a lot of possession. It's football. You are not always going to play to what you should play by. You shouldn't play to what comforts your opponent. You should play to what is going to discomfort your opponent at any cost. Doesn't mean you have a, and that is why people tend to criticize Ruben Amorim even when he's doing well. Now let me refer you to 2000 and sorry, I said to the, what am I saying to the Monday? Sorry, I just said 2000 and Monday. If you remember, when Everton went 10 men down for a weird altercation between Michael Keane and Idrissa Gana Gueye, two very experienced players by the way. What does Ruben Amorim do? Go for the battering and the win, or continue playing what you're playing? And he did, and I likened it. I remember when I was watching the match, I was also watching a watch along, my Goldbridge watch along, and I remember when I was watching the match, I likened it into a Formula One. If you watch Formula One, you know a safety car. Sometimes when a safety car comes out, the cars go at slower speed, and there's no overtaking allowed. So it gives you time to make a pit stop, to change your strategy because of the safety car. You don't know what it might do. So you change your strategy, change your tires and everything. This red card was like a permanent pit stop for Ruben Amorim. Take off your wing backs, play forward back and go all out attacking and beat a 10-man side. But what did they do? 0-0, 0-0, man sent off, didn't take off anybody, didn't make any altercations, didn't bring on anybody. What happens? Everton scores. You don't play to what you want to be known by, play to what will make you win. Don't get what I mean? When we talk about Pep ball, or we talk about Klopp ball, or we talk about Ancelotti, even, they didn't play in one certain way. They never did. Look at all of the games that they played. They always beat. People ask, how did they beat these people in the final? How did this beat that in the final? How did Chelsea beat was it Real Madrid in the semi-finals 2021? How did they beat Man City in the final? Because Man City won the league that year. How did they do it? Because they played to a way that would discomfort themselves to suit them against their opponents so that they can win. What did Arsenal do against Bayern? The simplicity of football. Fuck, if you're at home, who cares? You are not playing a small side. You are playing a side that will capitalize on anything. We're not going to be passing the ball around at the back so that we can let you press us and get the ball and score. No. What do? We play long balls in. I don't even know whether I can even properly put it on the tactics board. I don't think I can. I don't think I might use the tactics board today. I think this will just be a talk. I think it's very hard because I can't remember the details of the game anymore. So I can't really pin where the players were again. So I don't think I'll use the tactics board today. I'm just going to give you a visual, a mental picture. If you get what I mean. So as I was saying, Arsenal, what did Arsenal do? And I think we've rarely seen it this season with Arsenal. I think the only place that we have seen it is actually Sunderland, to be fair. If I actually recall of this up, even at Sunderland, did we even really do that? I don't know whether I think we did. I can't really remember. I can't really tell you definitively. But I watched this game and I noticed something. We're not playing what we play. We really make use of Declan Rice and Zubimendi this double pivot. Instead, we made use of Zubimendi as a lone DM, spreading the ball along with the backside. So instead of what we do normally, we play the detached type of system. We play long balls. Why do we play long balls? Because if you let Bayern Munich come and press you and take the ball off you, they score. If you try to play long balls, we advance more. We pin them and they can't make their runs that they make. You see when we play balls up to the top, you see Timber running at Conrad Lima. All of it, Lima is at the back already. Because he can't affect what is going to happen when they transition. So they have less bodies when they are on the attack. Because we've run them out of position with the long balls. We didn't pass out from the back. And that's the sign of you won't like to play like that because at home you like to have possession, but you can't play like that against a top team that has gone 18 matches unbeaten. There's a reason why they've done that, and we exploited that to our use. Their goal was nothing short. They couldn't even pass the ball into the net like they like to do. That's what they like to do. If you watch them, they usually like to pass into the box, take a shot, all of a sudden go. I think Olise was only given the opportunity. We'll get to the players sometimes. We didn't even see a shot from them inside the box area. I think the only shot inside the box was from a cross. That's the goal. Leonard Cow, beautiful player by the way. I love him. He's such a good player. I wish he was as Arsenal, but I like what he does. He's such a talented player. He reminds me of Max Dowman, But yeah, as I was saying, you see the goal that they had to score, they couldn't walk it in. We were putting them, and that's how you see a quality team. Them too, they can adjust what they are doing, but they're just not used to the intensity that we're going to give them. That's the reason that they lost. And it was very good tactically. There are other reasons that they lost, but let me put this in your mind. You see what they had to do to get their goal. That is a reason why we are not losing. Because no other team can really be perfect like that. We're talking about Bayern Munich. If Bayern Munich has to pull out those moves against us, that is why teams find it hard to score a original goal against us. Because you see what Bayern Munich did. How many players are doing that? Joshua Kimmich, 50-yard ball, to Gnabry. Gnabry didn't take a touch, just cushioned it on his leg. Across the box, Lenakal, first night finish. Sweet as a nut. Perfect. How many teams are doing that? You are not telling me that if Fulham is doing that. You're not telling me that go down. You're not telling me that Leeds are doing that. No. So how would they want to score against us? How? If that is the type of goals that we're going to concede, that speaks volumes. Now let's analyze the game further. First half was tight cagey. We used our weapon that we know how to use better to our advantage, which was the set pieces, and that worked. That opened up the game. We forced them to come out a bit with them. We were able to put a bit of pressure on them. Like I knew some Arsenal fans would have actually liked, and then they also put some pressure on us. So it was kind of like a sword, a type of fencing match. But at the end of the day, first half wins. Nobody scored anymore. Well, sorry, it's very very late. I'm doing this very late, and I had a long day, but yeah. But where was I? Man, I've forgotten. Okay, going into the second half. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Going into the second half was more intensity, more break them down. And Madueke had come on for Trossard on the left. And to be fair, I wasn't really feeling Saka because I feel like we even needed to rest him anyways. And they were kicking him a lot, which I didn't like. So I was like, okay, let us sub off Saka, put Madueke on the right and put Marcelo on the left. And then Luis Kelly, I think, that shows like a bit of rustiness. He's going to get his games. Trust me, he's going to get his games. And I think the most important thing for him now is to be very focused in his game. He's only 19 years old. He has his whole career ahead of him. Come on. Just talk about him missing a World Cup. Even if he misses a World Cup, the next World Cup is going to be, it's going to be 19 plus 4. That is, it's going to be just 23. This is next World Cup is going to be it's going to even be just like 22, going to 23. That's very young. Don't get me wrong. That's still very young. A 19-year-old, even Waneri, 18. So come on, man, come on. Let's abandon all that talk. I'm sure he's very strong. If you really look at him, he has a very good demeanor for a young man. So I think that just shows his roughness. And yeah, Ateta made the right subs. Calafiori, Martinelli. I think that is very brilliant in game management, and I feel like people don't really pay attention to it unless it doesn't work. And I don't know why, because I've seen some games that he has really done well. Maybe it has been overshadowed by the team selection, but I think I've seen some games that he couldn't. He did very very well in terms of in-game management. I think the only game that came to mind was Sunderland, and I think we can't really blame him a lot for Sunderland because I think Sunderland, our injuries came back to bite us, and I think that was inevitable. And I always come back to that on these type of games. I mean, look at the quality on the bench against Sunderland. Sunderland is very lucky, and then you look at what came out against Bayern. The likes of Martinelli, we didn't have that, and that's exactly those people won us the game. If I thought they just kept it at 1-1, if they were just there. Odegaard came on at the end, pulled a beautiful flick. I don't know why people don't notice the little things. But we had those type of players to hold the ball up that the way they were at that left wing at the end of the Bayern match. We would have won this one, and I keep on referring to it. And I remember I told my dad as well that that is the key. That is why we drew that Sunderland match, because we just didn't have anybody to bring. We can't bring on 18-year-olds and teenagers in this type of games, no matter how mature you think they are. That was a physical, tense game. You don't want to be embarrassing an 18-year-old. All of a sudden Sadiki will body one area and get a shot off, and all of a sudden it's a goal or Shaka. We know this type of players now. So that was the key, and I always keep referring to it. I mean, you see what happened against Bayern. That was the prime example. Madueke comes on, Marseille comes on, Calafiori comes on, boom, 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 3-1. And Bob's your uncle. That's it. That's just the simple, reaction. And going player by player, David Raya, very beautiful game. I think his long balls were the key to us winning. I don't think a lot of fans actually noticed that. His long balls were very accurate. And I remember one ground pass that he played to Saka. He just fizzed it across the ground. It didn't really go up, but there was a lot of power and spin on the pass. So he just went across the ground through the whole field and went to Saka's feet, and I was like, that was so great. His distribution is always good. I think the only thing you can argue maybe his height is a bit short. Because I look at that lob and I'm like, Courtois saves that man. That's the thing. That's the only thing. But you can't hit somebody's God given stature, and how he looks like that idiot did to Stella. I don't even know the name of his club for that matter. So, but anyways, we move on. Now, Raya, Timber, solid game. My man of the match. Is it my man of the match? Yes, it's my man of the match. Simba is my man. No, though, Declan. You see the struggle. I'm going to give you a joint man of the match. I think both of them were very, very close. Saliba, brilliant. Oh my God, he took charge, and I think this is what you like to see. When Gabriel is not around, Saliba can also take charge, and everywhere is just good vibes in the defense. Mosquera coming in for a cappy, not one for wrong. So calm. It's like having two Salibas plus a Gabriel. With his stature and his height as well. It's very, very good to see him, and see him get some more game time, because it's very, very impressive when he plays. 30 million, by the way. I think we'll all be gulping at that deal by the end of the season. Sorry. I think we'll all be gulping at that deal by the end of the season if we win a league or something. As Luis Kelly, it was okay going forward. It was very, very good going forward. He put a couple of crosses in, but I think it was just very rusty in the defending sides of things. Will you say did he beat him? But I don't think he did. He beat him enough to cause trouble. He beat him, but he didn't really beat him enough to cause trouble. So yeah, Luis Kelly, he was a good guy. It was a good game for him, but just to be rusty, he needs to get some more game time, which I'm sure he would. December period is very, 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 very hectic. We have the Carabao Cup fixture, and there probably going to be an FA Cup fixture. Still we have Champions League fixtures. We have Bruges, we have Inter Milan, we have Kairat Almaty. So yeah, that's vibes for if I'm this Kelly, I'm still going to play the season. It's still a privilege to be on that bench every single day and train with this beautiful team and be a part of it. But anyways, yeah, going to the midfield, Mendy, everything passed through him again. He was just there, won a couple of tackles, played some brilliant balls on that left to rise the double pivot. Later came out in the second half. It was very good. Declan Rice, my joint man of the match with Durant, but it's just an engine. My best part of the match was the 90th minute. He passed a straight ball, and he just saw the opportunity to get at Harry Kane and just ran and nicked the ball at Harry Kane's leg at the throwing line, and it was so brilliant. He now gassed the fans over. Me myself at home, I was like, yeah, come on. Finding myself chanting to buy and I Tottenham in this guys, but no. Yeah, Declan Rice, my joint man of the match for that game. Anyways, moving on, Saka. I think Saka was good, but he wasn't really given the freedom to really do anything. But even at that, he still showed a lot of strength, so much strength. And congrats to my guy Bukayo Saka, my Nigerian brother. I remember the day that I couldn't. I was so close. I was in school that day. It was very close to my school in somewhere in Lagos. He came to that exact side of like my school, and by the time because phones are not allowed in school, so by the time I could see that he was there, I think I was already in the car. On my mom's phone. I was just checking. I was like, oh my God, Saka is in Lagos. I was like, nah, that's Max, bro. If I knew, I'd have just like run out of school and probably gotten the first bus to wherever I was. But shout out to him, man. He got engaged to Tolami Benson, another very, very good Nigerian Omo Yoruba, very, very decent. I know she's not much in the public eye, but you see those type of people, by the way she carries herself, even when you see certain pictures, you know that that's going to be a very, very good couple. But yeah, that's just tribute to Bukayo. And it feels weird. It makes me feel old, because I remember even in this picture that I showed you, I was 12. No, I was still 11. I was still 11 in this picture. So that was 6 years ago, or roughly 7 years ago now. Yeah, like 7 years ago, and that was the season that Saka was just breaking into the squad. And I remember watching Saka every day, like Saka is my best player. And now I'm about to be 18 and I'm looking at Bukayo and getting engaged. It just feels like I've spent the majority of my life. It just gives a whole new perspective. But congratulations to Bukayo Saka for getting engaged, and that explains why the new contract is delayed. It's going to be very good. He's going to get married. He's going to get a new contract. If he wins, he has a lot of competitions that he can win. Very good for Saka, but I digress. Um, yeah, Bukayo Saka, he got teamed up a lot that game, but he still showed a lot of strength, which I like. I think that's one thing that has really gone up in his game. I think earlier in his Arsenal career, he really got bullied. Him and Emil Smith through. I think that was the only downside to their play. I think if you put them up against the those type of Newcastle midfields, I think they would have been bullied off the ball. And but now you see them going man to man, holding off their man, those type of things, and you love to see. You actually love to see it from Saka, and it was very good. Won a couple of fouls, but yeah, it was brilliant. Trossard went off injured. I don't think he was injured, by the way. I think I did see him getting treatments because when the physio was called, he didn't spray anything, he didn't do anything, just started speaking to the bench. So I think that was more of a precaution because of the game against Chelsea. And then going through the source, Madueke came on brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Even on the left, he was I don't think he's a left winger, but I think he can do the job there. But you can see that he was holding the ball up on the left. When he got the call to switch to the right, you see he scored the goal. Calafiori came on, immediately shut down Olise. Olise couldn't pass him. I saw one video. Olise was on wraps. Olise said, "Nah, man, I'm tired." And yeah, that's how it was. That's how the game went. And Mats Odegaard came on, almost got an assist. I don't know why we forget this. Odegaard came on and literally almost got. If Merino was less tired, I think Merino was really tired at the end of the game. If Merino was less tired, he would have controlled the ball and he would have probably like bent it around the keeper. With Neuer, yeah, Neuer was thinking of the gaff. Martinelli, brilliant sub, comes on, does what he does. I think that is up to 6 goals this season or 7, which is crazy. I think a lot of our players really have a lot of goals, and we didn't really predict that. But yeah, at the end of the day, we went top with the only team with a 100% record, as even Atletico beat Inter. And we beat Atletico 4, so I'm really looking forward to that Inter game at the San Siro. But yeah, that was the Champions League and the Premier League done. Now it's back to the Premier League again with Chelsea, Chelsea Football Club. And I watch a lot of Chelsea this season, more than I like to admit. I watch a lot of their matches because most of the matches come earlier, which I tend to watch. I don't think we've had coinciding matches with Chelsea. So, and I hate to say this about Chelsea, but I think I have to for the sake of being a football fan. Chelsea remind me a lot of 22-23 Arsenal. I don't know who else feels like that, but Chelsea reminds me of 22-23 Arsenal. You might ask, how did they remind me of 22-23 Arsenal? Because it's exactly like that. I don't know why. I think 22-23 Arsenal, we saw a young squad coming into growing in confidence, going into wherever they did, yeah, going into places that they've never explored before. And we saw how that ended, but it was still very good. We lost to a treble winning team. That year they won the treble, so we couldn't really be sad. And we never really expected. We only expected European football, but that was very good season. And they remind me of that group of players. I know that's wild to say, but I'm not worried. But that's what I really see in front of me. But I like it. I like some challenge. And we've not beat Chelsea hasn't beaten us at Stamford Bridge for a while now, so that will be this is going to be a very very good matchup. Well, let's look at Chelsea. They score a lot of goals. That's the first thing I can say. They score a lot of goals. I think only Arsenal actually scored more goals than them, but we also score a lot of goals. So I think if you take this on paper, it's really a cancel out thing, but we should just have that extra much quality. Um, we've won a lot of matches. We've kept a lot of clean sheets. Chelsea, they tend not to really keep a lot of clean sheets, but they've kept a clean sheet in their last 2 matches now. But is it 3? What did they play? Who did they play last? I can't remember who they played last. But yeah, We kept a lot of clean sheets. Teams rarely score against us, and um, they start well. They start games well. They open the scoring in their in they've only failed to score once this season. I don't think it's only one game that they've not scored, and that was against Crystal Palace, the 0-0 draw on the opening day of the weekend. That's the only day that they have failed to score. So even every loss that they've had, they've also scored. You know, and they've just been very very good attacking. I can't see much about their defense. I think if we really play what we play as Arsenal, we can breach their defense. They've only won once in our last 11 games, so we've I think we've beaten them a lot of those. I think we've beaten them 6 of those games and then drawn maybe 3. I guess I can't remember, but they've not beaten us in 11 Premier League games because last season we drew against them. So I think there should be at least 3 draws in there, and it will be the midfield battle. It will be about chance creation. It will not only be about chance creation, it will also be about converting chances as well. You know, and I think Arsenal have improved in that. It's going to be Chelsea that will be tested in that as well. I think this is more of a test for Chelsea than it is for Arsenal, because even if Arsenal drop points in this match, the minimum gap will still be 6 points. The minimum gap, sorry, will be 3 points. The maximum will be 9. So if you find that perfect spot, which is like 7, we drop points, but we can't afford to do that, you know. But it's more of a test. I've seen a lot of things saying that it's a test for us. I don't think it's really a test for us now, because if you look at about the test that we've had, it's more like regressing if you're saying that this is a test for Arsenal. So I really think this is more of a test for Chelsea than it is a test for Arsenal, to see how far they've come. They talk about the Club World Cup, the Golden Badge, and I don't really give a shit about that. I can't give 2 fucks about that. But this is more of a test for Chelsea, and I'll keep on saying it. How well can you create chances? This is a battle of the midfield. They talk about Caicedo, Declan Rice. I don't think they are 2 different players, but I don't think that they play in the same type of capacity. Palmer will be back, Esteval. It's all about how well do you create chances and how clinical are you. That is what this match is going to boil down to. And Arsenal, we are very, very compact. We are very, very disciplined. We are very, very patient. I've seen it a lot. I know I've watched a lot of games with people, especially my dad, and he doesn't understand why they like passing it around at the back. And I'm like, they have to do it, because if they are indisciplined, if they try to overplay the ball forward, they lose the ball, all of a sudden counter, all of a sudden goal in the back of the net. You don't know how. But if you look at the gaps that teams are leaving, and then you try to play into those gaps, you try to really have a focal point on your attack, and you build it up to the maximum speed, and you can get a goal, and you don't risk anything. That's a very good thing. And Chelsea, one thing about Chelsea as well, I know they score goals, but at the end of the day, they really don't have a recognized focal point. I don't think Liam Delap is going to start. If he does, I think that will be a focal point. But even then, it's not really a type of focal point. If they put Joao Pedro there, it's going to be dropping into like a false 9. So I think they are like Arsenal, so they have a lot of goals split across their team, and that is a very interesting fact, because they can make their attacks really like blunt. They can miss a lot of chances, because most times they have to score cutting in on the wing, or maybe a set piece or something. But yeah, that's just the thing. And we can have the confidence going into this match. I think that's why I really wanted to win against Bayern, and we must forget that they also won against Barcelona, so they will also have the confidence that they want to take into this game. We just need to be very, very organized defensively, so Chelsea doesn't find space in our midfield, in our defense. We just have to defend like we normally do, and I think this should be a very, very good game. We should win. They tend to really overlap. Their fullbacks tend to really overlap. They tend to counter a lot. So there are a lot of things that we can actually do that can negate them. And they have a lot of pace. You talk about Pedro Neto, but we also have, it's like on paper it's more of a cancel out type of thing. I think we cancel out a lot, but if you also look at Bayern, we really cancel out a lot, but we later beat them. He hit a lot of long balls. If you can win our second balls as well, if you don't win the first balls, win the second balls. But I don't think we should actually lose our first balls, because we need that aggression, and then second set pieces. Just like be clinical, create a lot of chances. That's just the thing. That's what I would say. That's what I would just say for Chelsea, for the game against Chelsea. Just be clinical. I think this will boil down to, because I feel like on paper it is cancel out job. It's nil for me on paper. But if you look at the game, what you need, this is going to be a battle of creativity, a battle of playmaking, because you have Caicedo, you have Declan Rice, you have Rich James, you have Zubimendi, you have Enzo, you have Izzy. So it will be a midfield battle on who can create chances and who can be clinical in front of goal. If not, it's 0-0. Let's be honest. But I back Arsenal, and I'm going to say, I'm actually going to say 2-0. But I think Chelsea is going to. I think they're going to get a goal. I don't know why. They are very good at attacking. That's you have the likes of Estevao. You have the likes of Palmer, which could come off the bench. But you look at our bench, you also have the likes of Madueke. You have the likes of Martinelli or Trossard. If Trossard doesn't start, you have Trossard on the bench. Or you have Martinelli on the bench if Trossard starts. You have Odegaard that can come in. You have Kala. You have all those type of players. You have Mazduski, you have Ethwaneri, all those type of players that can come in. I think we have Gilchrist too. I think we should have Gilchrist. I don't know why we won't have him. I don't see any reason why, because he has played the game already behind closed doors. I know we don't know how that wins, but we had the game, and I think he should be back. If he's able to play that type of game, he should at least be back on the bench. You know, I think it should be a good matchup. I don't think it should be a dull game. I don't think it should be like, I'm nervous. It's a London derby. I'm nervous, but I don't know, man. I think we should back. And I always see this thing, and I'm like, I'm a young fan. Imagine me as a young fan saying, "Let go of the PTSD." That's all I've had in my life. I graduated last year when Arsenal was getting good, but we're still not good enough. But now I can go into school. If I was still going to school, I'd have gone into school and I say, "See the way we beat Bayern." Because I remember the days of Bayern was beating us 5, man. I couldn't turn up. If I go up to school, I'm like, long day. That, like, I couldn't do that. But I'm telling you now, man, there's no point. I'm telling you, I'm not going to go to May. I'm not going to get to May. I'm not going to be at the parade. I'm not going to be at the Emirates. I'm not going to book a flight to the UK for my holiday. And I get there and I'm like, oh, I didn't even remember that match that we did. I can't remember it properly because I was just, it's so weird. It's like, to me, I compare it to, and I know people are saying that, but I'm just waking up to that. I think we need to back this team. I don't think we need to see win trophy, because I don't even think the trophies are on their mind yet. I think they actually focus on just winning every single game that they can. That's the most important thing you can do. Anything else is beyond your control. That is what we didn't understand a few years ago. We're always trying to make everything in our control. Not everything can be in your control. Every things that you do by yourself can be in your control, and that's just the fact of life. It's like that's life. That is it. It isn't any other thing. It's just simply life. Whether you like it or not, it is life. Those days we'll win and be like, oh, let's play the Man City lose. Why don't we win all the points that we needed? Why are we praying for Man City to lose? You don't understand. Believe in the team, man. Look at the team that you have. We smoked Bayern. We smoked Atletico. We smoked Spurs. No matter how shit they are, we spoke them. It's another derby. I'm going to believe in this team, and I don't know. I'm not going to. I'm not going. What do you mean? I should enjoy my marriage, and then I should forget about the relationship I had before the marriage? That's so weird. So that's just like saying that that I should take control in my relationship because I'm not married yet. You don't get what I mean. Like, I should not go ahead in my relationship because I'm not getting married. If I don't get married, if I don't release the handbrake in my relationship, how would it lead to marriage? You don't understand what it means. So pattern up Arsenal fans, and just sometimes just think about it and just say, come on, you can. I don't think you are hesitant to say it. Fuck rival fans. Fuck the rivals. Fuck haters and fuck all of them that you think won't let you win, because you will. Winners don't doubt themselves. Fans of winners don't doubt their winners. They don't. If you are going to win, you believe in your club. I think they have given us enough reason. I think the past few seasons, I can say that we have not been given it. I mean, look at the transfer window last season. I don't think that type of transfer window was able to go into the window hyping up the fans. You know, I look at 22-23. I don't think we're even looking for what we got last season. And you look at 23-24. What else? In another season, you could have won that. We're battling a team that was coming off a treble, and we took them to the final day. Look at the run that we had. Everything was green. For Christ's sakes. What else? You see, that type of things. Now you've gotten everything you want. You have a magic player, easy. You have depth for days. You have Gabriel out there, still scoring set piece goals. You have Gabriel out there, still dominating defense against Bayern Munich. Come on, man. Believe, man. Believe, and I believe that we'll do this. Thank you for watching the stream. Come on, you Gunners.